The team that has fnatic has shown up today to play. It looks as though they're tired of being just pushed to the side, pushed around all over the other servers. So in fact, they're going to be coming here and coming online and taking that first map. Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice Major 2019, where things really have started to pop off in quite a way all around the venue. Joining me on the desk will be Jacob Vinicki and Sean Gares. Guys, not the prettiest of Counter-Strike, I believe, would be the easiest way we could probably start the conversation here, Sean.
Yeah, it wasn't the best CS coming out of G2. I thought fnatic, this was the fnatic I wanted to see all along, right? All of the players on fnatic stepped up. Krims didn't need to have a big game because he had a supporting cast around him. I think for like 20 rounds into the game, everyone was within one frag of each other, which is such a good sign to see. On the G2 side, this is more of the same, right? Shox showed up here, but not a whole lot else.
There's no foundation in this G2 lineup. That's what annoys me the most. It feels like they have the individual skill set to go up against a team like fnatic. They have a Shox who has a lot of impact in the game, making a lot of vital plays. Basically, one of the only reasons they got to the amount of rounds they get. You have a KNES not really showing up, and the other players are just not there. It feels like the foundation of G2 is simply not good enough right now.
Yeah, and that could be very well the case. Jacob, kind of walk us through some of the things that you were able to identify watching this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, we did have a game where, as Sean said, it wasn't that pretty. I think the individual brilliance of fnatic was really took the game away for them. We have a clip here to showcase in the beginning of the game. G2 actually gets off to a good start, winning the pistol round, and then we go into the force buy here from fnatic, and again, individual brilliance. Krims hitting that shot, that's amazing. Now, if we speed it forward a little bit, you can see Krims go up again and hit another sick 1D. That's some of that individual star power fnatic has right now that can win them the rounds. Now, if we move into the following round, which is at 1-1, you can see the minimap right here. The twist has already gone down. It's a 5 versus 4 situation. The fnatic players are really being clunked in towards connection area. Not really a well-played situation we have for them. Okay. Again, a very messy round of Counter-Strike. Jax is currently positioned up here in Apps. He's going to be able to take down the bomb, and you have 4 players on the other side of the map who's able to crossfire and win the round for G2. Now, what happens is that 2 more players from fnatic goes down, and if we just take a quick stop here, if you look at this round, Sean, at this point, how can G2 lose this, right? There should be no way they can lose this
With
round.
Jax and the apps, there's literally no way they should be.
Literally no way. And if we play it out, you can see what happens. I think we switch to the JW point of view in a second. For some reason, Jax decides to push alone in CT spawn at the fake bomb plant right here from Brolane. Jax push out alone, a guy from jungle comes out alone, and all of a sudden what was a 4 versus 2 situation easily became a 4 versus 1 against JW. That is simply not good enough if you want to qualify for a major.
And a good read there from JW nonetheless to even suspect that the player would be in the Palace area, because, I mean, him having set himself up for success is ultimately what we're seeing from fnatic going forward. Guys, we're going to start talking about Dust2. Mirage, let's just go ahead and clean the slate there and really see how this could unfold in a way that G2 could come out on top, Sean.
So fnatic has not had a lot of experience lately on Dust2, and when I've seen them, they don't look all that good on their T side, but Krims is an absolute beast at holding middle. He'll come out of the B side and hold it by the van, kind of just in the middle of the open, honestly. Just kill everyone from the middle of the open. But I think G2 has a lot of layers on Dust2. This is the one map last major where I gave them a lot of praise. I thought their taking of long was good, and their layer once they took the bomb site was even better. So I'm looking forward to seeing them on T side of Dust2, because we didn't see much on T-side Mirage.
I definitely agree. I think on Dust2, Shox is also one of the guys that actually is good at setting himself up. He is currently the in-game leader of this team. He is trying to find ways that G2 can win, and he's setting himself up in position where he can lurk around on Dust2 and be a constant annoyance. And then when you have KNES on his side with the AVP, again, a map that is very open, you're able to roam around on the CT side, go towards long A, go towards B, go towards middle. KNES had a lot of freedom on this map, and if he can get it going for him, then I think G2 actually has a realistic chance of taking this map.
Well, freedom or not, I mean, the facts are that KNES is relatively quiet right now. We don't see him having the highest rating per HLTV.org. We don't see Body necessarily up there either, but KNES is one of those with that AWP that you're talking about is going to have to try to change the tide of a game.
For what it's worth, Trace, he is 22-0 right now in pregame.
That's not bad.
So he has
and if you win pregame, you might just lose the real game.
But on a serious note, Kenny did have a couple good shots that last game. I think before that in the event, he's been playing pretty well. He was the only one really stepping up in their earlier games. And I think Dust2 more suits his style. Like I said before that matchup, G2 isn't really known for their Mirage play. Kenny doesn't ever really look comfortable on the map when I watch him. So I think Dust2 is a much better, field for him to play on.
I definitely agree, and I just can't help myself thinking it's a very worrying sign that we talk about KNES has to step up if G2 want to have a chance of winning the map.
Yeah.
There's literally no foundation. There's no red line in the way G2 plays. There's no fundamentals to fall back on for G2.
Sort of
lost in their ways, right? If KNES is not stepping up, if Shox doesn't have a lot of impact, this game is over.
Yeah, and you don't want the game to end here. And mind you, I should tell you, in case you're unaware, that this is in fact an elimination best of 3. And no one could have forecasted there would be Fnatic G2 in this situation, or at least Fnatic to say the least. I mean, they were the top-rated team within the internal team rankings going into this when it came down to seedings. Now facing elimination, yes, they do have this one-map cushion, but here for G2, this is basically it. This is your time to come back to life.
Yeah, this is G2's last chance. As you said, if they were to fall on this map, they would be out of the event, which is shocking to probably most people.
Shoxing.
If you were to go back 6 months, yes, shoxing. If you were to go back 6 months and tell me this is where G2 would be at this state, I would be incredibly surprised, because this lineup has so much skill on it. And for them to fall short so many times in so many events in a row, it's so hard for me to envision a world like this.
It's like a flat soda almost, right? Jacob, I know you got to be hedging your bets towards Fnatic. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say. I mean, we did see a tweet from Ocelot coming out yesterday saying that what he saw in practice from G2 was super, super well. That has to be Dust2, right? It has to be the map that he has been observing and watching. Otherwise, this is going to be a 2-0 for Fnatic, and it's going to be done for G2. Yeah, and you don't want to see it go down that fashion. Also, some tweets we did come out of Ocelot would be that he's going to the gym getting jacked, which is exactly what our commentators are. We do have Vince and Moses. They might look like brothers, but in fact, they are not related by blood, but they will be getting us here into Dust2. Take it away, fellas.
I just watched Trace get straight alphaed by Pimp. Trace trying to throw it a little too early. Pimp had an opinion to give, and Pimp comes out on top.
I wish you could see the facial expressions right now. It's gold.
Well, we might see Fnatic Alpha G2 right out of this tournament as well.
It's very possible, but I mean, this has to be the map, right? If G2 are going to have anything exceptional at this entire tournament, this has got to be the moment. You're looking at KNES. You're looking at the AWP to do something truly special. Everything is positioned for him to have a map to remember. And speaking of the man, he is currently in mid. They have already lost the first player, Fnatic, on their endeavors up mid. I mean, surely... Oh, jeez. Hold that thought for a second. KNES has just been obliterated down to 6 health.
Yeah, he got more than he bargained for on that one, and look at how the defense is shifting now. Those two players, Jax and Body, out towards long A. Rotate to cover the mid pressure as Kenny can no longer keep a good eye on it. The P2000 struggling at this range, and even Shox gets hit in the head, but there it is. There's the one tap from Shox, and now they can secure this bomb site. And it should be very tough for Fnatic moving forward.
Did an excellent job of stalling, and there was nowhere for Exist to run. Chopped down in midair from KNES. And now Twist has to walk over the corpses of his teammates to try and salvage the bomb and get something done in this one.
You can see Twist taking a shot and then pre-firing another angle, waiting for the follow-up peek to come out from the other members of G2. It doesn't happen. Nice pistol round from G2. Although, there is something to be said. They did win both of them on Mirage and didn't manage to get too many rounds outside of that. So we've got to be careful here. They cannot get responded in this second round.
So all 3 pistols. And surely, Jason, G2 have got to show us something, right? Like, this has got to be their moment.
Yes, it certainly does. I mean, they have no more time to show us what they have, right? If you don't show up here, you're done. This is G2's map pick as well, so you'd expect them to have some things prepared, expect them to feel as comfortable as humanly possible on this map.
Go back a few years, and JW against KNES would have been a tantalizing prospect in terms of AWPing.
I think it still is. Maybe for nostalgia purposes, but I still am super excited to see that on Dust2 when the ops do come out. Shox as well on this map can be so mobile, so aggressive. Here he is with the SMG, should be able to chew these guys up. There's the first, the second, it can't convert onto JW. He does eventually get overrun. There is a small window that G2 might have been able to make it into that bomb site, but Kenny has closed that very fast.
Closed it with his presence, then some utility, and Jax is going to oblige with a triple MP9 spray down, money in the bank.
Yeah, that's huge for a team that, as we just talked, is going to want to get some ops out eventually. And actually, you can pass one of those SMGs over to Shox and drop Kenny S and op in this round if you want. You know the AKs are going to come out. JW's got his op.
And so will Shox. I'm guessing he's going to drop that across to Kenya. I'm hoping he does. No, he's got it for himself.
Yeah, we've seen him picking up the op once or twice in this event and keeping it for himself. It's a bold decision when you have someone like Kenny S on the team. Jax close to the corner. There's a pop flash, and actually he doesn't want anything to do with it. He said, you know what, they're already out. They've already got the angle. I don't want to risk my life. Meanwhile, Shox proving the doubters wrong, taking that pick on JW. He's holding an off angle through the double doors.
Well, I suppose as the IGL, what Shox says goes. But as you say, it's quite a bold thing to do, take that away from Kenny. Maybe it was based off spawn. Had a good spawn for mid, and Kenny could utilize the MP5 up close. We'll have to keep an eye on that, see how many times Shox does pick it up.
We saw in the past, this is an easy map to have that double up setup as well. We saw it on Mirage earlier from fnatic, so it might turn into that eventually. A defense is actually a little bit labored, but part of that is because there's a massive flank coming in through CT spawn. No smoke on the cross for fnatic. They wanted to take the straight fight, and that's going to give Shox another kill with the AWP. All the meanwhile, Body is getting closer and closer on this long flank. He's going to have Twist to hold off against him.
Bomb has been planted though, so Twist doesn't need to move a muscle at this stage. Jax silenced by Broland's SG. A little bit of long range on the site as well. Lucky's going to make a move. The spearhead of this operation on the 3-on-3 retake, and he's been successful, but Exist on Goose is going to be waiting for his chance to strike. Smoke's going to skew his vision a little bit, coming around the corner, finds himself one, but there is the counteractive kill by Lucky, and G2 will have a 3-0 lead.
That's a really good trade on the entrance into that bomb site to get this defused by Lucky, coming up as soon as Exist peeked out towards the catwalk corner, and even Body out towards long on that flank was super patient, and it helps a lot when his teammates, they found Brolin on the ramp, and Body knows if there's anyone guarding long, he can't keep his attention on the doors forever. He's got to eventually try and help and hold off that retake. 3-0 for G2, looking much better, a much better start than what they had on Mirage.
So Pistols, the state of play. fnatic, 2 Deagles, 2 CZs, and a P250. With a bit of utility as well, a couple smokes. Going to keep their options a bit more varied. Nothing substantial, but better than nothing. As Exist is going to start to make a move up mid. Maybe going to play some interference. Now Lucky's going to have to be on with this AWP. If he misses a shot, there's going to be a lot of terrorists forcing their way towards him. Goes back up for seconds. They're not pushing him. Thirds, it's pretty easy, straightforward for Lucky. Fish in the barrel springs to mind, but the Molotov is going to land by his feet. It's not going to claim his life. And G2 will move forward to a comfortable 4-0 lead.
Okay, we've seen Shox with some op kills. We've seen Lucky with some op kills. It's Kenny's turn now. Everyone's waiting for Kenny S to get involved with that AWP. fnatic getting blanked at the moment. 4 AKs in the SG 553. We'll see what they've got. Trying to find a weakness in this G2 defense. They haven't found it yet. Lucky's going to get the angle quickly, but Flashbang's going to force him back. Not forever. I don't know if he realizes Twist is there. The trajectory of that nade will tell him. This is a very aggressive posture for a mid-to-B split. The entire G2 defense is pulled back from long A. All 3 players in that A bomb site, which is going to give Crims the opportunity to just wander out.
Lucky a matter of millimeters away.
The bomb is top mid, so they can't fully commit to a site just yet. That's an easy one for Lucky. Flames force JW back as well.
Rejuvenated G2 looking great. Jax the spray gets the second player in the smoke of Brolan. And with that passage of play, fnatic have been chopped down to size. Crims 1-on-4. We know the guy is a master of the game, but there's nothing he can do about kennyS's AWP. 5-0 start. This is looking like an entirely different team.
Yeah, looking much, much better, much more comfortable on this map. Also, perhaps you can look at it the other direction as well and say fnatic, remember, Mirage was their second best map in the entirety of the pool. Dust2, maybe not up to scratch. Timeout for the Swedes as Yumpy talks them through it.
It's kind of hard to put your finger on exactly what's been going wrong here. It just seems like all the jewels have been going the way of G2. Lucky's 8-0.
There's that. I think part of it too is going to be, you know, that G2 has the double ops out, which is always a pain on Dust2.
I mean, speaking of pain, one of the standout players for fnatic, he has been phenomenal, even in their downturns. Crims has got 0 ADR. We're only 5 rounds through, but he's done literally no damage.
Yeah, there's that as well. Playing 4 versus 5 for the first 5 rounds of the half. You're not going to keep Crims down forever, though. This is an attempted split towards the A bomb site. That pop flash did not work to get Crims through the smoke, so he remains on 0 ADR. 2 players up catwalk, but they're going to have to go against Shox, who's got the AUG, and they have smoke in their face. They do have a flash and 1 more smoke left, and obviously at this point, a bomb plant would just be almost the best you can hope for.
Especially the way these rounds have been going, even that is a pipe dream. Utility is going to proceed to push. Flashbang and smoke. Here's Kenny. Been smoked out entirely, but now Shox has the nuts position. On the cross, they're going to have to go into his crosshair. And Exist is going to at least make this a little bit more labored for G2. Jackson and AK-47, though, will stop the bomb from being planted, and G2 romp on.
I'll tell you what, thank God Jax was there. kennyS missed shots you won't normally see him miss. fnatic not able to do anything with it, didn't have the weaponry to really punish it. Now they're going to bust out a double op. So 4 ops in play across the entirety of the map on both teams. And fnatic need to get going. They need to have something that makes you feel like they're making progress into a bomb site. They're getting absolutely destroyed at the moment. G2 have got all the opening kills in this game. They're 6 for 6 on first kills.
Double up setup for fnatic finally in place, but neither of them land anything through the doors. Collectively, fnatic have 7 kills. To put that in perspective, Jax has 9, Lucky has 8, but Lucky has been found by Twist. Maybe this is the moment where they do start to awaken. Do start to give us something to get excited about, because right now this is a complete shutout.
This is a round it would be great if Jax just walks into Crims' crosshairs, and he does just that. Crims is on the board. Now, Kenny is kind of stuck here on catwalk. You don't want to fall back into the sites. You can get pitched from 2 positions, so you have to say at least stay from long. Ooh, and he gets dinked through the corner of the wall. Not a whole lot of damage. Brolan might get lured into a false sense of security. Great flick from Kenny around the corner. Now he can fall back and look towards long.
It's good to see him land a flick like that after the tentative attempts that we saw on the A site previously. But still, all that considered, fnatic have the player advantage, 2 of which, from G2's perspective, are on the A site. It's been cut in half. As kennyS finds a JW out on long. Shox trying to prime the pop flash, but he's been tagged through the smoke, significantly down to 12. Although Body does chip in with a kill, Shox is going to have to deliver something special, and it won't be happening.
Crims is not enjoying this game so far. We mentioned he had that tough start. He's got his first kill into this round, and there he just gets spammed through the smoke entirely. Body going to save an op to bring into the next round. They've really enjoyed this double op setup. No reason not to continue it.
Body looking to secure the op. Meanwhile, fnatic go hunting. Oh, their funds aren't exactly plentiful. They need to be careful they don't get AWPed on the cross. But this will be fnatic claiming their first round of Dust2. If you have just joined us, of course, they won the first map of Mirage. Pretty convincingly.
Yes, very convincingly. I think it was, what, 16-8?
Yeah.
And that's with G2 winning both pistol rounds. So this is... G2 would love a very strong rebound on Dust2 here on this map. Another double op setup coming out, but because they already saved one in the last round, they don't have to spend as much money. They still have so much money in the bank. Kenny S is still right around 8,000. Quite nice for G2. Ooh, great tag on a Shox as well. Twist goes for it.
A rare appearance by the M4A1S. And Shox nearly has it denied.
An ancient relic.
It definitely feels that way right now. Out come fnatic. This time they're not going to get perforated on the approach on long. Slight gap in the smoke for Lucky, but he decides that his position is a bit too tenuous and he will vacate the area.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get stuck there. Remember, JW won this battle against Kenny S in the previous round. Looking for it again, and he almost had it. Takes the shot, misses it. That was just Lucky jumping back and forth. Both AWPs actually at this A bomb site. That could be a little bit sketchy if the smokes and utility usage of fnatic is on point. Those ops can get neutralized. You can see they have to take rather passive defensive stances. They have control of Catwalk. They can get control of mid. It's just one up far back at T-spawn in the hands of Twist to watch that. A single-pronged attack for fnatic.
It sure is. Is it really powerful enough to penetrate the A site? So far, so good. 35 seconds, enough time to try and maneuver on the site, but the bomb's been dropped and the smoke's now clearing. This is a horrendous passage of play for fnatic. They still need to get a hold of this. And to make matters worse, JW's missed a vitally important shot. fnatic being thinned out that much more. Although Twist was trying to watch the rotations, the rest of his team has crumbled. And G2 bounced back, 7-1 lead.
Yeah, a really awkward timing on that attempted cross from fnatic. That smoke clears and the bomb hadn't made it over and they didn't have any more utility to put down. They needed JW to be able to open everything up with that AWP and unfortunately just misses a shot. I'm really curious what fnatic is going to do when they don't have a double op setup, because at the moment, they're running this heavy play towards long, and they're just having Twist with the other AWP. He's not even involved in the action. He's just watching mid. He's just there to get a pick as someone rotates, as someone tries to push through mid and get to Catwalk to support. It's a little interesting. Long play, but it's just two members of fnatic that come out. And they only have pistols. Not a whole lot you can hope for. They almost caught Shox off guard, and they're almost going to catch Kenny, and they do eventually get that. There's so much pressure being applied. Shox is in a lot of trouble. Even Jax goes down. He's the sole defender of this bomb site.
And now they're starting to pick weapons up too. They've got an M4 and an AWP. Starting with just a couple of deagles, but Shox, laser precision accuracy, claiming heads left and right. G2 were looking on the way out, but now suddenly this is doable. Bomb still hasn't crossed to the site either. And there's no smokes in play for fnatic. They're going to have to go past their Ro4. They have got one player already scurrying across. That's going to be Exist with the AWP. Not exactly the first name you think of when AWPing, but he has connected onto body. And now Shox that has done so much in this round, single-handedly with this M4A1S. And is going to have to go two better if G2 continue their winning ways. Spots the first player, position now compromised. fnatic going to be looking to cordon off this area with Exist, peeking with the AWP. Shot straight through, does connect, not enough to get the kill, but finally will finish off Exist. Is this going to be the round? No, Brolan does come to fnatic's rescue. Very well played by Shox, though.
Yeah, that really was a heroic effort, but fnatic able to steal one away, coming into that round with just pistols, and that's a pretty big reversal of the economic fortune. G2 gonna have to reinvest and almost down to nothing. fnatic, meanwhile, gonna be able to bring a couple weapons or one weapon into the next round. Really good performance there. That's a grind-out battle out long the whole way. Tough in that 2-on-2 for G2 as well, because fnatic could have fallen back at any moment. Body kind of had to go for information. Exist just had the right read of where the next peak was going to come from. These are very nice shots from Shox. That one, he had actually thought that he had killed Exist a little bit earlier. So 2-7, but Fnatic need to build on that. And they can't get reset the way they did previously. They won round 7, lost round 8.
The last 3 rounds, they have won 2 of them, so that has significantly chopped short the economy of G2, who have now pretty much invested all their money. So this isn't effectively a 2-for-1 round, you'd think. If G2 win it, Fnatic will be struggling. They've got a bit of money on JW, Broland, but maybe having a bit of an issue. If G2 lose this round, though, they are in trouble.
Yeah, this round for Fnatic, that's probably why you see the timeout. This can change the entire half. This is what's going to allow Fnatic to close the gap in a big way. Nice pop flash, Kenny. He gets away just in the nick of time. Doesn't even take any damage, but he almost got caught there. 2 players out towards long, G2 adjusting their setup based off the fact that Fnatic has so heavily attacked that portion of the map. It's Shocks and Jax to defend.
JW providing the overwatch back at T-spawn with the AWP, now going to decide to join the rest of the troops. Moves up mid. With G2 having no presence in mid, this will allow Fnatic some options if they are to smoke off CT. I think now they're going to start to funnel their way out. It's going to be a B split by the looks of things with the bomb still in tunnels.
I think G2 is reading this as well. 1 player in CT spawn as well, though another smoke's going to go down a Molotov as well. Body playing at these rafters. He's got a big job to do. Flashbang comes out. No one there to trade that kill. He can play passively, but he peeks wide. Lucky still in the sight. And Crims doesn't want to mess with that AWP. He doesn't have enough teammates coming in mid. Shox gets lured into a false sense of security. And still Lucky is under fire, but still he delivers. Until JW puts him down, but Brolin can go nowhere. He just has to play for himself here, and they're blind. They're not ready for it. That is a beautiful swing. 3 kills for Brolin in mid.
Oh my, that second kill was beautiful, flicking across to the head while spraying. It seems there's something in that Swedish DNA that makes them awesome when spray comes into effect. You got Get Right, there you got Broland.
You got quite a legacy of Swedish players. That is a very nice job from him. I'm not quite sure they didn't spot him over the fire. It seemed like maybe there was an early flashbang, but I feel like they should have been a little bit unblind by then. But either way, that's the disaster striking for G2. A good half up until now. They're going to struggle to regain control. They're out of money. They'll be able to buy in the next round. But a really good opportunity for Fnatic to get a little bit closer to evening things out.
Now this stack is completely understandable. They just stack A, flash in, have the entire G2 roster just push straight out, see if they can catch Fnatic. Get an AK away, or even an AWP would be even better. They're just waiting for some kind of a sound cue, just some kind of a sign at all.
Yeah, that's a pretty risky position for Shox to be playing with the flashbang as well. I mean, obviously, you're not really expecting any terrorist team to kind of come out long, completely silent, just walking it, but he's essentially a free kill at that point if they do. Fnatic just completely avoid the stack altogether. Although, if they don't speed this up, G2 can wrap behind them very quickly.
They've got a couple of P250s as well, so they're going to be a couple of players that are still a threat and a nuisance, but JW's about to run into them.
There's the AWP.
Oh dear.
No, I don't think Jax with the AWP obviously going to stay far back. The pistols can go in if they want, but you save that AWP for the next round. B is a difficult site to retake, even if you have the weapons and utility. With just pistols and no nades, near impossible. Fnatic is going to have to eventually start working for an escape route. They've got to be a little bit paranoid about where that AWP is going to be if it's going to take any more weapons away. Here we go. Shock's going to pop flash through those double doors. They're going to attempt to at least do some economic damage.
The B massacre has begun, and it's mainly Frenchmen that fall by the wayside. This bomb could do some damage as well if they're not careful, but they're okay. 2 casualties, not a bad round considering that they get an AWP out of it for G2 when they only came through with, what, 2 P250s and a flashbang?
That's a pretty smart round, the decision-making that G2 had there. That stack out towards long and then busting that up, going towards mid together, finding JW, saving the AWP, and a nice pop flash into the B bomb site to see what else you can get on top. That AWP is huge because they would have had the money to buy one, but it would have been glass cannon. In this situation now, Kenny can have armor, a kit, full nades, and he's the only one with a kit. Another tag for fnatic through the door.
JW has been consistent with them. Not too far off either, just a few millimeters high.
That's Shocks. He's got balls of steel.
Just seeing the bullets whiz over his head and not moving an inch. Playing with fire. Twist in the meanwhile finds Jax. Shuts him down.
Yeah, that's from lower B, peeking up towards Catwalk. Jax just trying to maybe get a cheeky headshot, a cheeky kill before falling back, but Twist was just too fast. Now, a take towards long. One pop flash over the wall. G2 starting to line up to crunch mid. Shocks close. The op far back. And you have Lucky close to double doors.
It's going to be a rough one for Twist. Two separate angles of aggression, but that flashbang is absolutely perfect. Could move in for the second kill. Kenny S has been destroyed health-wise. 13 left. He's also getting pincered from long, so he's got to get the hell out of there and see if maybe he can thread the eye of the needle through the smoke. But Twist continues to impress. Another entry. fnatic looking good for a 5th round.
Another multi-kill round for Twist as well. He's got 3, and yeah, there's nothing that G2 can do except save these weapons. That is a very nice job from fnatic taking Catwalk. First the pick on towards Jax, and then the pop flash. Kenny's lucky to even have his life. Stuck around for as long as he possibly could, taking fights, but no results to show for it. It's going to be 7-5, still in the favor of G2 on the scoreboard, but in terms of momentum, it's looking a bit rough. It's going to be 5 of the last 6 going to fnatic. They've started to figure this defense out now that they've taken the money away.
Definitely does feel like the tide's beginning to shift. Definitely helps when JW's landing a shot through doors every single round, even if it doesn't get the kill. Players trying to scamper away on 20 or so health. Never going to be ideal. The amount of kills that fnatic have isn't necessarily that impressive compared to G2, but they've just been so efficient.
That is what's weird about it. There's been a few saves from G2 as well in some of these rounds. Oh, God bless. Shocks had his eyes burned out of his skull. This is a pretty cool matchup when you think of it in terms of the stories and the legacies of some of these players. Shocks and Kenny S, 2 of the best to have touched the game. Mentioned early, people were waiting years to see these 2 on the same team. With all the different front shuffles that are happened over the years, those 2 somehow never wound up in the same squad. JW and Crims, and even Exist, part of the legendary Swedish lineups that dominated the early stages of CSGO. Exist, part of the legendary NIP lineup that went 88-0. Won everything there was for what had to have been a year and a half.
And that's the thing with these 2 powerhouse organizations. Whatever happens here, we're losing previous major winners.
Yeah. Yeah, in some way, no matter what happens, it is going to be heartbreaking. Ooh, that's a great stack. I think Berlin even half expected it, but an awkward angle to take that fight. He might have even fallen off the boxes as soon as he spotted the leg. Either way, an opening pick for G2. They still have the op on Kenny S. And he's going to get aggressive now, and he's going to find it. JW not ready. A 5-on-3, and even with a lack of rifles, a lack of weaponry, you have to say, advantage G2.
Certainly is. The smoke's not fantastic either for Twist, and body with the AUG is going to smack him in the head. As will shots onto Crims, and not only did G2 win the round, they win it without taking a single point of damage.
Yeah. They had Kenny with the op get 2 kills. They had Body with the AUG get 2 kills. So well done putting the 2 saved weapons at the points of contact at various stages throughout that. And on top of it, they even get to salvage 2 more extra weapons off the dead bodies. So they don't have to spend a whole lot to have a very powerful buy in this round. That should set them up pretty nicely for the rest of the half. 2 rounds left. They shouldn't have to worry about money at all.
JW's teammates getting in his way a little bit there, trying to aim through mid. Quickly get close to mid. on the double doors, but haven't decided to push just yet. Exist over the smoke, trying to peer across, see if he can pierce through mid-side. But instead, it's Lucky that's going to get drilled from JW. And that actually leaves Body in a horrible spot. He's on B alone, completely isolated from the rest of his team.
Yeah, a bit aggressive, and look at the rotation it forces them to make, and even G2's got to be cautious. That's Shock's closest in CT spawn. Got to be a little bit worried. Body, big job to do with this AUG. How long can he hold? He's got the first, swings out a little bit wider, and Exist is able there to get the trade. 3 players in mid for G2. Do they want to fight for this? I don't think so. They can. They have a decent amount of money. They can actually try and risk it and see if they can get anything that would provide an opening.
Jack's must be so disappointed because he was making a great flanking amongst all of that, but his teammate just couldn't hold on the B side, and all off the back of Lucky getting picked. Shocks tries to get through windows, going to get found. But JW has been dealt with on the B side. But as you say, I mean, G2 can't feasibly go for this. They're going to save the 2 AWPs. Double AWP setup in the next round is going to be very solid for them. Doesn't mean they'll concede the round, and fnatic will move to 6.
That's not bad from fnatic. Especially consider the start. They were down 0-6 at one point. It's been a 6-2 run to get here. But G2 able to pick up the AWP off JW's dead body. That's the second time he's gotten caught in the post plants at the end of the round. Not necessarily his fault, just happened to work out that way. Ooh, that's a great reaction.
So as a result of the 2 saved AWPs, G2 will have a super healthy buy, but so will fnatic. Oh, that wasn't far off.
Oh, here we go. Clash at long. We haven't seen many of these so far. Exist. Look at him just running behind, and Jax wasn't nearly as blind as Exist would have liked. Lucky did spot one getting up catwalk. He went back for the fight. Oh, peeking down low. Lucky gets caught, and he's lucky to get away. I don't know how that happened, because Twist has been excellent throughout this series, throughout these 2 maps.
Especially when it came to entry fragging, the guy seems to be so efficient.
Kenny might get caught. No, he's going to fall back. Just chucking a nade. There's a massive gap in that smoke. You could have driven a truck through it, and Crims was trying to put it to good use.
It's going to be a fake of a smoke, though, because the bomb is positioning just outside of the B tunnels. Lucky's going to be called upon once again. Body also there. Meanwhile, JW seeing if he can just eradicate some mid-presence, make it easier for the wraparound to take effect. And Jax again, similar to the last round, just goes for the flank. Body close range, gets destroyed. And in doing so, B site is open for business. fnatic will be able to get a bomb plant, but it will be a 2v3 retake with Crims. So close to getting the kill, but Jack somehow with his AUG is going to stand tall. 5 health is all that separates him and death, and now it's down to Broland to try and clutch this out for his Swedish brothers. Up comes Kenny S. 1 bullet will seal the deal for him. He tries his best simple impression, but it won't be working. But there is the man in question, Shocks. Finishes the half, top fragger for G2.
Shout out to Kenny S, playing bait, chucking your gun in, saying I don't even care to use it. I just want to show Shocks where you are. It gets G2 their 9th round of the half. A small lead going into the second half, and G2 facing elimination must win this. We're going to figure out who goes home after the break.
In the clouds, and I'll take it, yeah. Reminding myself to just let go. Don't wonder how far I can fall. Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on, never look down.
G2 is 1/2 away from elimination at IEM Katowice, but they have a 9-6 lead, and you have to admire the fight that they've come out with on Dust2. They look much more comfortable, much more prepared on this map, and they've given themselves a chance to take us to a third. As I say that, they go for a B rush. Here we go, boys.
Can JW hold the line? No, but Brolan can for the time being. He has been whittled away to 14 health and will be put in his place. Twist just needs to wait at this stage. Exist and Crims are right behind him. Crims is going to try and make a beeline for the tunnels. Make this a lot more manageable. If they all pile through the same angle, it could be a bloodbath. But Crims is going to come under heavy fire from Body momentarily, and Body comes out ahead. That probably is the round going with it. G2 looking good to pick up both pistols once again. Exist. Valiant attempt, but there's just too many players to deal with. G2 moved 10-6 in the lead.
There's a certain amount of beauty in the fact that with your major life on the line, you call the most basic of pub strats. I really enjoy that. They make it work as well. 17 kills on Shock so far. 15 on Lucky, 13 on Jax, 13 on Body. So the young guys showing up, which is good to see for G2. 10-6 lead, you're exactly right. At least this time now that they win, they've won all 4 pistols in these 2 maps so far. At least this time on this map, they've got a lead to show for it. There goes Twist, went back for more.
G2 procure the life of Twist. Put them in their back pocket. Exist has landed himself a scout shot onto Body. But elsewhere on the map, Brolan is struggling to survive against Lucky. Exist has finished off the kill onto Kenny S. I don't think they can get their hands on the gun, but it is at least going to put G2 on the back foot for a little bit.
He almost tagged a shot to the shoulder of Jax. The Deagle's here, though. I think Crims gave up his shoulder a little bit early, but Jax still can't win the fight. Crims is going to be able to get away. There's Brolan from lower B. Shocks didn't expect that. He was blindsided. A chance, a real chance now in a 3-on-1. Lucky's got to be a hero.
What a horrendous position to be in for Lucky at this stage. A round that should have been a gimme. He's not entirely sure as to whether there's a fnatic player up close to deny this bomb plant, but now they know where he is.
Sent Brolan in first. Low HP, let him flush out the position of Lucky.
Yes, no grenades either. There we go. Exactly what they've done, but it was a bit too early. Exist isn't in a position to strike yet from long. Now he's finally there. Needs to put that scout to good use. Lucky spins around on a swivel and turrets himself. And G2 into a round win. Beautiful clutch in the end for Lucky.
Yeah, he did such a good job of making sure he was always taking one-on-one fights. That was phenomenal work. That really digs G2 out of a tough spot. Remember, they won that first pistol round on Mirage, and then they lost immediately afterwards. This would have been a similar situation. This could have put fnatic right back in the driver's seat, but Lucky holds on. 11-6, G2 inching closer and closer to a third map.
And even though fnatic did damage, it was off the back of a 4-spy, so they can't even capitalize now. They have a Desert Eagle, but Brolan's completely flashed up. JW had opportunities, but just the USP. He was praying there that that USP somehow turned into a P250, 5.7 or Deagle. But alas, it wasn't the case. And now Exist and Crim's going to do as much damage as they can on the way out. 2 players actually towards T-spawn from G2, which could catch Exist off guard if he decides to push.
He would love to get an AK-47. I think he's going to miss his timing. It's Shocks anyways, just to CZ. So it'll be a 12th round for G2, doubling up the score of fnatic. It's 12-6. 4 more rounds for G2 to make it to a third map, which would be Overpass, to decide which of these teams is eliminated. Much like our previous series, loser goes home, winner plays tomorrow for a spot in the Legend stage.
Yeah, moves to 2-2, the winner of this. They're definitely not out of the woods just yet. But of course, they're not going to give a damn about tomorrow. They're focused on the ice.
Oh yeah, no one's thinking about tomorrow just yet.
So a 12-6 lead. fnatic will be coming out with guns, however, and a double AWP. This does lower their utility. And in Twist's case, a lack of armor. Quick play by G2. They're not messing around. They're going to be running straight into JW. And even though he did land a shot, it's not going to be enough. The spray's not on point for Exist either. Just yielding the 1 kill. 2 players are very low, but they've got the player advantage. Well, only for a few more seconds. Because fnatic are dropping like flies. They only have Twist and Crims left.
fnatic is so close to turning that. Look at the HP. If any of those kills go through, this could be an entirely different round. Regardless, that strategy by G2 worked perfectly. Getting up Cat that fast, the entire point of it. A lot of teams send 2 to 3 players at long to establish control and then fall back. And if you get up Catwalk fast enough, the way that G2 did, you can catch them really unawares, trying to rotate either back towards the railing, back towards middle and CT spawn, and now on the hunt. But not too dedicated it is G2.
Not wanting to feed any more kills across to fnatic, but in doing so, it does give them a bit of power to play with in this round.
Listen, we just saw G2 pull off a round like this, exactly like this.
Exactly,
1 AWP and 1 AUG in the previous half. That was on Brolin, or excuse me, I think it was Body. Body and Kenny S, each with 2 kills in the round with the only 2 guns they were able to save. This is a bonus round. The MAC-10's doing work. They just get up there so quick. No chance for JW with the AWP as he rotated onto Catwalk to really get a good shot off. Able to get a leg shot and nothing else. G2 looks like they're going right at the AWP of Twist, so inside the bomb site, he'll have an opportunity to thin the herd. Kenny is spamming for the stack that they just had.
It is a win condition of this round if they do push into Twist. At this stage, maybe best to just turn back.
It'd be interesting to see if that smoke actually fools G2. They Molotov the car. Twist put it out, maybe trying to make G2 think that someone was playing in the car. They might have seen the trajectory, they might just not be faked out whatsoever by it.
2 players in mid from fnatic, Exist and Crims. So it is still only Twist that's over on the A side of the map. But G2 are taking their sweet time to start to move in. They are still checking the car. Now realizing that it's clear. Gonna smoke the cross. Lots of smokes put in place. Crims tapping through. Can't perforate any players as of yet. And Twist has moved completely off A site. So maybe setting up for some kind of a retake here. Shocks has been found by Brolance. That's an extra weapon added to the arsenal of fnatic. And Twist has gone one better. G2 now in a 2v4 from hell around that they'll feel should have been theirs. It still could be, to be fair, because there's only 1 kit and no grenades. fnatic still have a lot of work ahead of them. Kenny S, the bomb. Wait, is the bomb not planted for him?
I think it is. I think they should be all right. Lucky. 2 quick kills, a hero once again. No, it's not actually.
The bomb's not planted for Kenny.
Yeah, he's got to swing wide and it's fine. There's, oh, just at the moment, nicely done from Kenny. But yeah, a little bit of a worrying, makes your heart skip a beat. That's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, fnatic, they got enough kills to make it feasible for them to go for it, but that took everything away. They were committed to that retake at that point, which gave a perfect opportunity for G2, as we just saw, to take all the guns that they had saved and salvaged. So again, this is a full investment for fnatic, and even though it's a very strong buy, nothing behind it. A victory here isn't enough. It has to be a resounding victory where they keep multiple players alive, and JW is going to start this one out handicapped.
Yeah, he got tagged in the round prior as well. And he was also, ironically enough, the player that was constantly tagging people on the other side of the coin. So he now feels how frustrating it is to lose 2/3 plus of your health right off the bat. G2 in command. There's been nothing poor about this performance. They've had a couple of banana peels, a couple of slips and slides, but by and large, they've looked in control. Just 2 more rounds required to send us to overpass.
This map, G2's actually been very enjoyable to watch. This is a very good level for G2. Obviously super comfortable on Dust2. 1 in the A bomb site, 1 in pit. Exists to defend long, and G2 is setting up to have a split towards this bomb site with only 2 defenders. It could get rough. Exist is now isolated.
Decides to come out swinging though. Twist in the meanwhile is holding down the fort on A. But Exist has dropped on long. There's no one to work off here though for G2. They've dropped the bomb over on the short side of A, and they have to back out.
I will say, it's kind of... I'm curious about that strategy. You set up that smoke wall, and you attack the bomb site at the same time from Cat and Long, but even if the Long people are successful, which they were, taking out Exist, the wall of smokes they set up to isolate the defender, prevent them from getting involved in the action at the A bomb site. So Twist was able to just pretty much stay at that railing the whole time. Kenny's going to lose that AWP right at the last moments.
In terms of their money, they will be able to replenish the fallen AWP, but it's still going to sting a little bit. So Fnatic do continue the map going forward, have a double AWP play of their own. Orgs alongside it. And here's the Twist play. And it's a good thing that he did actually pick up multiple frags, because Exist died pretty early on and long. But the smoke's out.
Yeah, they turned the corner and the AWP just trained on his position of where exactly he was going to peek next. Nice shot from Kenny S. 14-7. Timeout G2. They have 2 remaining.
Well, here we go, back into the fray. As you can see, Exist, JW, Crims having rough games. ADR 14 for Crims, 18 for JW, which is really surprising. Like, typically AWPers have pretty high ADR. Obviously, if you hit someone, you're going to put them down. So not necessarily the AWPing paradise that JW is hoping for. Perhaps reflected in the overall scoreline. G2 now poised in the tunnels, making a move down. Twist, in the meanwhile, is going to try and play a bit more aggressively this round. He does have Crims. Additionally, behind him, typically it's been Twist or Twist and Exist watching A. But Twist is the first player to fall, and that's going to open up Catwalk nicely. Exist now has to watch multiple angles, and Crims needs to come back into the fray on A. But there's not much they can do. There's no plays at the backside of A. This is going to be a free plant at the very least.
The one person who might be able to change some fortune is Exist over in pit, but I don't think anyone's actually going to swing and take that fight. That's the kind of play you like to see from Shox. Takes that battle on Catwalk and presses the issue. And he pretty much just won the round. 1 frag and the 1 play to take the bomb site, and it's over. Fnatic, they can't risk a retake because they can't lose these weapons because they have no money. And Jax is on the hunt just to see if he can take anything away at all, but he walks right into the AWP. Exist doesn't want to give away his position.
Oh dear. And considering that they have very, very little economy, they definitely needed to save that AUG. That is a significant weapon lost.
JW can drop one. Won't be able to buy up any utility if he drops an AUG or an M4. But he has an AWP, so it's not the biggest thing it's not the biggest deal in the world, especially when you don't have a whole lot of options available to you to begin with. Fnatic's going to take their second to last timeout, using whatever they can just to be able to get themselves to overtime if possible, and have to come back 8 rounds straight. NIP did it on overpass.
It's true, but it does feel like Fnatic are a little bit out of their depth here on Dust2 against G2. Haven't really got the ball rolling. I mean, the fact of the matter is they've won 1 round on their CT side. 1 out of 7. And even then it was a defuse. Oh, pardon me, it was actually they ran out of time. I think they went for a save.
Yes. Well, freeze time comes to a close. Round 23. It's 15-7 for G2. They've got 8 chances to bring us to a third map, which would be Overpass. They've looked good on Dust2. I think everyone wants to see them complete this map. JW is going to find a pick on a Kenny S. A risky peek, but why not take the risk? The follow-up onto Lucky as well. JW just eliminates 2 players so quickly.
Looking for a flash into peak for Twist, going to try and make amends. Of course, he died here last round, getting G2 their 15th round overall. Here comes the flash from Crims any second now into a peak. Here it comes. Twist going to turn his back, come through, but Body's not deterred at all. I don't think he was affected. I think he may have actually been slightly too far ahead of the flash to take effect. So with that kill, G2 now have to bolster up the short side, which is exactly what Crims is doing. Fortunately for Fnatic, they got 2 early picks, courtesy of JW's open mid.
This is a very risky play for Crims. Feels kind of crazy, but I would be interested to see it work. I think he's just going to come out of the smoke behind him, and yeah, now that he's got his teammate there to distract, it's an easy one, but he actually doesn't see anyone until just now. Jax had no idea. 15-8 as G2 gets stopped cold, at least in this first attempt at closing the map out. Plenty of money for a strong buy on the French side.
We go again. 7 more map points.
It's actually Lucky who's leading the charge for G2. He's got 23 kills, 10 deaths. Shox isn't too far behind at 21 kills. No one on Fnatic is over 15. You mentioned it earlier. The kills weren't super impressive in terms of numbers for Fnatic. They still aren't. Exist is going to go down, and Lucky is feeling it, so he wants to go for a heat check, wants to find a duel, and he can't win that one initially. There's Twist, scoped in with the AUG, but it's a 3-on-3. Bomb is down, which is actually quite a big issue when JW is here.
Yeah, and there's a Molotov actually stopping G2 from picking it up, and our flashbang's going to drive them back that much more. Smoke deployed. Twist going to try and deny it. But I know eventually he's going to have to reload. Shock's going to go and pick the bomb. And now they have options. They have choice. With 3 players left on Fnatic, they're going to have to spread themselves out thinly. So G2 are going to try and find out exactly where these CTs are. They know one's on A. JW's going to take this opportunity, though, to go for a flank.
This is what always made Fnatic so difficult in their heyday to defeat, is plays like this from JW, because he's already a fearless player to begin with, but when you put him down 15-7, 15-8, it's almost like he gets has even less fear possible.
Oh, no. He looked in mid and didn't see anyone. I wonder if that's completely baited the rest of his teammates.
It might have. Twist, it's all on him. He's completely blinded. He's forced back. How far back is he going to go? And, well, Jax puts him in the ground. A 3-on-2 advantage for G2. A chance to move on to Overpass.
Nice flick by JW. What a time for him to awaken. Prolan, AUG in hands, going to get shut down by Shox, and that's map number 2 going the exact same way, just the reverse. 16-8 this time to G2 on their choice of map.
Yeah, nothing is easy on Elimination Day, and G2 fight back. They actually, it's the same exact score that Fnatic won with on Mirage, 16-8 in the favor of G2 here on Dust2. We're going to go to the desk after the break, and when we return, we decide everything. Who goes home? We'll find out on Overpass.